We learn to talk at an early age, but most of us do not have formal training on how to communicate effectively with others in various environments. That's really unfortunate, as it is one of the most valuable skills that we must learn in order to be successful in our personal and professional life. Successful communication helps us better understand people and situations. It helps overcome diversities, build trust and respect, and create conditions for creative ideas and solving problems. The ability to communicate effectively is an essential skill in today's world. Communication is a dynamic process. How you communicate with others can positively and negatively affect the relationship that you have in your personal and business space. The focus of this video is on helping you break the barrier to effective communication. The content of this video will help you develop your communication skills and enable you shine anywhere and everywhere. So let's dive into the essence of today's video. As we all know, most of the communication happens non-verbally. It is communicated through physical cues that mostly come from our body language. Our posture, gesture, eye contact and facial expression are key components of our body language. Body posture is the key indicator of how involved you are in a conversation. To send a message across powerfully, you need to engage your listener with eye contact and positive body postures. Studies reflect that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone of voice, and only 7% is actual spoken words. Therefore, it is absolutely must for you to pay attention to your non-verbal communication if you want to be an engaging and confident. Being a good listener is half the equation to being a good communicator. If you have the ability to really listen to other people, only then you can respond in a meaningful way. If you don't make efforts to actively listen, then you are doing yourself and your listener a disservice in the communication department. You can never be a good communicator if you are always talking and never listening. Being an active listener is the key to encourage open communication with anyone. It makes you approachable and easy to talk to person. Oftentimes during a conversation, a listener thinks about how he is going to respond rather than focusing what the speaker is saying. You must avoid this. Listening actively, you can provide a more thoughtful answer that takes the speaker's thoughts and opinions into account. Active listening is all about comprehending, acknowledging, and responding not only to what is said, but also to what is remain unsaid. It is imperative to understand your listener in order to communicate effectively. With this understanding, you can tailor your communication to meet your listener's expectations and requirements. To evaluate your listener, you will have to put yourself in their flip-flops. Just think of their demographic and characteristics and then ask yourself these questions. Why are they talking to me? What are their expectations? What level they are in terms of knowledge and experience? What are their preferences and unique perspectives? And consider these things before and while speaking. The profile of your listener can affect the tone and approach you have to adopt to establish better connection while speaking. For instance, talking to a kid would be different than when you are talking to your boss in the office. Regardless of how compelling the speaker is, all listeners have limited attention span. If you really want to be a good communicator, then you need to learn how to engage your listeners. And you can accomplish this by simply making your communication interactive and participative. Just keep asking your listener questions from time to time. It will give them opportunity to be vocal about their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. Moreover, as a communicator, it is incumbent on you to make your listener feel comfortable. Being in a comfortable state helps them to receive and process your message easily and keep them engaged. And you can achieve this by using inclusive conversational language and addressing to their requirements and expectations. People with refined communication skills tend to be respectful and unbiased in a discussion. Watching your tone while speaking greatly impacts your conversation. The tone of your voice is all about the attitude behind your message. Putting your message across direct and assertive, make the communication clear and avoid any kind of confusion among your listeners. Hence, be assertive, not aggressive. There is a fine line between the two. Stand confident on your point while maintaining a soft and calm tone. Always think before you speak. It's an essential element of effective communication. Unfortunately, we tend to overlook this simple thing while interacting with others. Words hold massive and colossal power. They have potential of accomplishing almost anything or destroying nearly everything. Just few negative words can ruin someone's whole life. On the flip side, a positive comment can put someone on the path of success. Therefore, always ask yourself these questions before you speak. Is it true, helpful, inspiring, necessary and kind? If not, you should probably not communicate it at all. Often it is very easy to get caught up in the moment and say things without first thinking. But in times like those, it is most important to think before you speak. Effective communication is not only about what to say, but how to say is equally important. It is not enough to have well-organized ideas expressed in a complete and coherent speech. You should also pay attention to the clarity, tone, and style of your communication. Speaking in a monotone is the surefire way to disengage your listener. So avoid monotone and use dynamics. Let the pitch of your voice rise and fall for a vivid expression of your emotions. Another effective way to get your point across is to enunciate and articulate it well. Articulation is all about conveying a message in a clear and concise manner. It is the ability to turn a complex information into a simple message. Finally, it is important that your listener understands every word that you speak. For best enunciation, use the language that you are most comfortable with and use simple words in general interactions. Here I conclude by saying that communicating clearly and effectively is an invaluable skill to cultivate. It helps you in many facets of life. Good communication facilitates human connection, build relationship, create positive experiences and opportunities. So keep working on your communication skills. It's an ongoing process and there is always room for improvement. So this brings us to the end of today's video. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, goodbye.